So another TRD series event is about to start. We are back at Streets of Willow where it all started. There's a spider on my camera. Let's get into it.
Streets of Willow has kind of become my home track. It's the closest to me, it's the cheapest, you can run it clockwise or counterclockwise, and it's the track that I've been to the most throughout my years of going to the track. So I'm happy to be home. The Yaris has changed a lot since the last time we were here, but mainly it's the brand new wheels and tires that give me more grip around this bumpy track.
Point by required in both of these groups. We don't want anybody pointing by in the chicane in the center there. It's a little, it's not a good place to facilitate a path, but everywhere else, point by is mandatory.
So after putting on my transponder, checking and setting all my tire pressures to make sure they're good, and charging all my batteries, there's one more thing you gotta do if your track day is on Halloween weekend. Wear a costume.
So everything's feeling pretty good about today. The temperature is good. The track has been resurfaced, so it should be grippier. We're going clockwise this time instead of counterclockwise. We've got a better alignment than last time. We've got better wheels and tires. We've got less weight. Hopefully I'm a little bit of a better driver. And we also have more power.
Hold on, did I just say more power? Why, yes, I did. Thanks to the guys at Chris Taylor Racing who do ECUs for B-Spec racing, I now have a tune that compensates for my cold air intake and gives me a higher rev limit. So Streets of Willow has recently been resurfaced. What was a rough, cracked, and pitted surface is now smooth and even. Everybody was going to be going faster today. Well, if we could get out of traffic, everyone would go faster. The problem with the first session is that nobody knows what speed everyone else is going. So it's hard to get out in the right order for us all to get clean lap times. And someone who has a train behind them can only let so many cars go by. And if your car needs momentum, it can get a little dicey. The best thing to do, as always, is to come into the hot pits and ask for some space. Once I got some clean air, the car was flying. New rev limit let me change gear when I wanted to, not when I had to. The new surface was so grippy that I immediately started to improve.
Alright, so that was honestly a lot better than expected. First clean lap, first like legitimately clean lap, 134. That is 5 seconds faster than the last time that I did here. Granted, that was the counterclockwise configuration and the old surface, but still 5 seconds is great. Technically, it's 4 seconds from the my fastest time around here, but last time in the TRD series, that lap didn't count because it was after the end of the session, so it was in the extra session. So 4 second improvement is huge, and this is only the beginning of the day. I'm still working on tire pressures just to figure out, you know, getting the even balance. The car still kind of like understeers if I go in too hot and oversteers if I brake too hard. You know, it's still balance stuff. If I can get into the 133s by the end of the day, I'm gonna be really happy.
With the new track surface, everyone was improving by 1.5 seconds or more. Not to mention that this was a very crowded day. There was the BMW Challenge Series, the Nissan Challenge Series, and the 8.6 Cup there today. Through better shifting and being braver on the brakes, my line was actually improving, but the times weren't getting any better because the ambient temperature had gone up so much. And in that frustration, it's hard not to get bogged down in the idea of going faster, and then you start to push too hard. If you do have an off like that, make sure you clutch in as well as the brake to keep your engine running, and then head immediately to the hot pits so they can check out your car, make sure there's no damage or debris that you're carrying. An off can be scary, but I still hadn't improved on my session 1 time, so I rotated tires and headed out there for session 3. Most experienced drivers will tell you that the fastest times are laid down in session 1 or session 2. So if you're trying to do a PB in session 3, you really need to work to claw back that time.
All right, so session 3 is over. That is technically the end of the sessions that the TRD series is counting. I ended on a 1:34.8. I got within 1/10 of a second of my fastest time from the morning. So even though the track was worse in terms of temperature and weather, we clawed back that 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds that we lost. Still didn't set a faster time, but that's okay because I looked at the TRD series entrants for enthusiast class. There are 3 entrants total. 2 of them are in a faster run group than me, so they're faster. And the 3rd one is me. So I think, unofficially, I think that's a podium. And honestly, I'm not super thrilled about being, you know, the slowest in the class. Like, this car is competing with things that have 2 or 3 times the horsepower. And this is the first time I've ever even built anything like a track car. With not having the knowledge of building a track car before, I know that what I've learned with this car is gonna make my next car better. I am not just here for the points, I am here to learn and become a better driver on track. So I'm gonna go out for this 4th session and get some seat time in. And if we break that 1:34.7, then it just means we gotta come back.
After the first 3 sessions, many people know that they can't improve, and the people with long drives home start to pack up early, so that by the time you hit the 4th session, there's usually only 5 cars in your run group. It was honestly pretty easy to find some clear track, and the temperatures were going down, so the track was actually coming back to us a little bit. getting the seat time in and just doing lap after lap is so important, especially when you know there's more time in the car. Honestly, on this track, I could have kept on going until the sun went down. Well, actually, there are no lights on this track, so it's better to come in before the sun actually does set.
So I just finished the last session of the day, which doesn't count for the TRD series, so it'd be really annoying if I went faster. I went over a second and a half faster, so we're actually ending the day on a 1:33.1. I am super happy with this thing. This car is about enjoying going out to the track and becoming a better driver. I might have gotten a little overboard with the build and probably could learn as much, if not more, with a less built, cheaper to run car. But building is part of the experience as well, a little bit of both. Maybe I should figure out which to focus on. I'm sure you guys like seeing the build stuff as much as seeing the track stuff, so I'm gonna try and continue to do both. But yeah, I'm jazzed about today, because that's faster than I ever went in the FRS. That's literally the fastest I've ever gone around this track in any configuration. This little Yaris did it. I'm so excited.
So round 5 is over, and all that's left in the TRD series is the finals in December at Button Willow. But I have one more track day that I'm going to sneak in before that, so stay tuned to see what that is.